All right. If you notice, my background is a little bit different. I'm here on the water. I was just extremely busy this week. I didn't have time to sit there and record a structured, formal video with a nice background. So, still wanted to get a piece of content out to you guys. And honestly, maybe one of my most valuable piece of content to you guys yet. It's going to be balancing the difference between assertiveness and being passive as a young man, especially. So, what I mean by this is when an opportunity comes your way, you have to make the decision to either step back or charge and seize the opportunity full head of steam. Because if you wait, if you procrastinate on making decisions, a lot of the times you will miss an opportunity that could have been life changing. How many times have you heard stories of people actually taking action on an opportunity and then 10 years later it paid them off dividend? So there was a study done from the Massachusetts Institute. I forget the exact specifics on it, but there was a study done that talked about how assertiveness leads to more success throughout leadership in men. So, what that means is they basically put together a group of men and they exhibited the ones that were in leadership positions and the traits that they possessed: dominance, aggressive, execution, strong mentality. So if you want to be, especially this message is tailored more towards a younger gentleman, a younger man. If you want to be stronger, you got to ensure that you are taking action on opportunities and executing when things come your way. You cannot be the person that's sitting there and just pushing things back and just thinking about the decision. You either take action or you don't. There really isn't an in between area, because the in between is where people start to they miss what can come their way. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you're a young man and you're going into this next chapter in this life, maybe you're a little bit lost. Maybe you don't really know what the next phase in your life is supposed to look like. And honestly, man, like that's okay. That's truly okay. You don't need to have every little thing mapped out for you to think that you're going to be extremely successful. You got to have everything. No, people have their goals too far, right? They have 10-year, 15-year goals. Well, those are good. I think you should have at least an idea of 10, 15 years down the line of kind of what you want to do. I don't like that because it puts you in a position where you're kind of 10 to 15-year goals. Now you're waiting rather than crunching that into a smaller time zone, meaning not time zone, time frame, right? Why does it have to be 10 years? Why can't it be 1 year? Why can't it be 6 months, right? Instead of just pacing your action out over the course of 10 years, why can't you be assertive, start taking action on opportunities and change that into 6 months or a year? So my message again is assertiveness. Shorten the time frame of some of your goals. Sit down and say, is this really going to take me 10 years? Right? Is this really going to be a goal that will take 15 years? Why can't you shorten that goal? Because listen, man, 15 years is a 15 years is a long time. If you can somehow find a way to cut that in half or even deduct time from that and start taking action and doubling your execution, I think that you will definitely start achieving some level of success. I think that you will start seeing yourself moving forward very quickly. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about was how there's so many people out there that just don't have any sort of etiquette. I'm just going to move under the cover here because it's starting to rain. Um, so, what I wanted to primarily talk about on the third point was um, the fact that having some sort of gentleman style etiquette. Someone came and they wanted to interview for a position that I had listed for a new hire, and they came there in shorts and a shirt. And we went through the interview, and I asked him. I said to him, "Hey, you know, I just got a question for you. Why did you show up to the interview in shorts and a t-shirt? You know this is a high level sales position. we're positioned for extreme growth in this next few years. The company is focused on developing men and helping them be stronger versions of himself. He had ample time to research the company. Why did you show up in shorts and a shirt? And what he told me was, it was hot outside. And at that very moment, I knew, and he had a good personality, had good characteristics to fit the position, but that's the way that he showed up to the interview. And I immediately thought, I was just, what happened? Right. And I asked him, hey, man, was it a money thing? It's all right if financially, if you're not in a position to afford that. And what he told me was, no, it just was hot. So then I asked him, I was like, is that truly the reason why? I kind of doubled down, and he was like, yep, that's exactly what happened. So then what happened was, I was extremely curious to know what happened to having some sort of etiquette, mannerisms. What happened to showing up to places and just looking the part. And it's almost like that's completely out the door nowadays. So the point is, assertiveness, having some sort of gentlemanly etiquette throughout your day and the way that you carry yourself, and then ensure that when opportunities come your way, you have to seize those opportunities. Very important. So don't be the dude that sits there and lets opportunities pass him by. Don't be the dude that shows up to interviews in shorts and a shirt. Please learn from this, especially if you're a young man going into another chapter in your life. And more importantly, try to take those goals that you have and shorten them. And that will be a fast track to the point where you want to go. All right, stay tuned. We're going to have another video next week. Thank you guys. Hope you got some value out of this. Let's rock and roll.